Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Backpack Trader Trading Room for Wednesday, February 25th, 2026. Please note the required risk disclosure. This room is for educational and informational purposes only. It is not financial advice. Trade your charts, not mine. Trading of this type carries substantial risks and should only be attempted with funds you can afford to do without. All right. Set the disclaimer or disclosure aside because we do have a crude oil inventory session this morning at 10:30. Crude, unfortunately, was too early with a short, so we're still waiting for a new trade. Unleaded is in a long trade. Soybeans has a possible, and it just bounced down, and we're open, so that is a valid short. Soybeans is short. The YM is short now. Market is open. I am bouncing down. So I say, yep, that's money management, so that's a break even. And then zooming up the other way. Micro Russell with a long trade. Definitely in the trade. The wick coming down. Taking some heat there. And stopping out. So the first trade is a loss. Don't worry about where the 5-tick adjustment. Unleaded takes a full loss. Ooh, okay. Pound Aussie in a short trade. We got in sync with the long, unfortunately. Take a full loss on that, and we're now short. Micro Russell was short. That has already gone to money management. That's got a big wick on it. Yeah, that's going to be big enough for a target 2. So there is, did get the win for target 2. Win number 1. Loss and a win. And that's a stop out on the trailer halfway between entry and target 1. YM takes a full loss on a short. And we get another short that it's still in, actually. Never triggered the long before that canceled. New short on the Micro Russell. That's a standard trade, so we need to go down to target 3. 2-tick adjustment to get our 14-tick minimum for money management. 5. Trade is still valid. We did touch the stop, it looks like. Multiple touches of the stop. YM still hovering around, came down, bounced off the, failed to get lower, and also failing to get higher, staying right around the 50, the channel of 50 and the 200, just bouncing around, going a bit above the 50 and below the 200. Pound Aussie still short. Unleaded is flat, crude is flat. And we did trigger into the short on the micro Russell. We'll have to track this one manually as it hit both the entry and the stop on the same bar. Stop first and then the entry, so valid trade. Soybeans touching the session low. We need looks like yeah, one more tick. Set a new session low at 53.5. We need 53.25 for target. Money management on micro Russell, so that's going to go down. Entry there was 65.9, target 1 64.7. So 64.5 was our $65.9, so 65.8, and we stop out at 65.8. Break even there, so we have a win and a break even, a win, a loss, and a break even actually. And the YM ends up taking a full stop now in a new short. YM doesn't know where it wants to go right now. That's its second full stop. Crude still pushing down. No new entries on unleaded. Pound Aussie trying to push down for money management. And a third full loss on YM. Soybeans does pick up target 1. Stop moves to break even, and we'll start trailing when the signal line comes through. 10 ticks, that's 2.5 points. But that's going to be a that'll be a one and done session. There's target 2 on soybeans. Long trade, oh my goodness, long trade and a potential stop and reverse on the YM. And it looks like we hit the stop and reverse. Yeah. So that's, yeah, I'm sure we got the. Oh wait, so 04 would be, and yeah, we've stopped and reversed at 04. So we are short. So I say that's going to be another stop and reverse back to long, but that should be an exit point. That's going to be 6 trades. Losing session this morning on the YM. Just didn't know which way it was going to go. Soybeans 1 tick away from target 3. Unleaded looks like. Yeah, we'd have been in, probably be in that. That's a second full loss on unleaded this morning. Crude still trailing down. Nothing on the micro Russell. Win loss break even. So 3 trades in the books on the micro Russell. Target 3 on soybeans. 10, 16, and 22. 26, 40, 48. It's 12 points. And we have a third, the fourth final position is the trailer. There's 1 tick at the moment, and it's just, should start to trail down. Now, I'll move down a couple of ticks on the close of this bar. Short trade on the micro Russell. Plenty of time to get in this. And there's the entry. Need 2 ticks. It's going to go to 05, or yeah, it's going to go to 55.5. And we are at money management. Stop will come to break even. Target at session open looks like. And there is target 3. Starting to trail. Final target at target 4, and we did hit that. So second win. Targets 3 and 4 are trailing at 56.6. YM is done, so I'm going to put unleaded up there so we can look at micro NQ. YM was just out of sync today, finally getting a successful short there. All right, soybeans starting to trail down now. There's our 2 tick move to 55 flat. Three ticks so far. Micro Russell is moving. Ooh. Micro NQ looking rather nasty. That would have been our first trade. Maybe, let's see. 35.48, 36, well, a minute and 10 seconds. Hard to say, I'd have to check that. Second one's definitely going to be a loss. Yeah, we're going to have 3 losses in there. So I just got caught in the noise. That's a losing session. So not even time to look at the micro NQ. So the full unleaded back down here. Micro NQ is done. 3 losses on the start this morning. Second win in the books on the trailer in Micro Russell. Back up to the entry on the Pound Aussie. This is a get-in, or we have a add-on short, but looks to me like that's going to be a get-in sink. Yeah, it just touched the entry and pulled back. So I'm going to treat that as a get-in sink unless it gets up to the stop. Unleaded. Yeah, probably in that long. So that is, yeah, we said that we would have been in that long. 2 losses, and now in a short. Target 2 is just below the session low. Stop has moved down again on soybeans. Right at session open, 54.25. Set a new session low at 50 flat. Micro Russell with a long trade, trade number 5. That has gone to money management. Target 3, and we get target 3, so let's go to target 4. And can't quite get up there yet. And we are stopping out at break-even money management, but that is win number 3 on trade number 5. I didn't notice how quickly we hit the entry on this trade, and I'm going to assume that's an avoidable trade at this point. Entry and the stop, same bar. That would have been a 2-tick adjustment. It's going to be 59 flat. $54 flat for the trailing stop on Soybeans. I would say we still haven't got an entry on crude yet. Just 10 minutes, just over 10 minutes and 5 seconds to go in the mini session. The original long trade still not stopped out. Pound Aussie tests the 50 EMA, 50 and the 20. 20 coming down the for a cross of the 50. We'll see if it does. And we do get finally get an entry. We probably would have pushed that entry down to 38. Soybeans at its session low again. Pound Aussie being rejected at the 50 EMA. Trade number 6 on the micro Russells long. 3-tick adjustment this time. Okay. 66 0, 66 flat. And we'll go to target 3. Final trade on the micro Russell. Soybeans is in its power quitting trade. Another add-on short. We're in the first add-on, or an add-on short rather, unleaded, but we are in the original short here. That's the money management location. The trade plan is minimum of 14 ticks to bring stop to break even. So that's what that adjustment is. Target was only 12 ticks. So I'm just showing that, and that was a full stop out for the final trade. So 2 losses, 3 wins, and a break even. Should be a positive session. Reaching our 6 trade maximum, not going to take the short. So I am in this add-on short on crude. And we'll carry that till probably about 5 minutes before the crude inventory report. See where it goes. Soybeans still at 54 flat. Money management is the point at which we move our stop to break even, which is entry plus 1. That basically covers our trade costs. The trade plan sets a minimum minimum tick movement for our money management, or to bring a stop to break even. And so that is 14 ticks. In this case, target was just 12. So target 1 is often where that point is. But on this particular plan, we're usually having to adjust 1 to 5 ticks, depending on the normal trades, unless there's a wick on the setup bar pushing the targets out. So that's a pretty standard. We'll have to move the money management slightly off of target 1. So that's what I'm having to do on micro Russell. That's typically the only one I have to. Well, it's not that it preserves capital if it doesn't turn to a gain, but if it has to go at least 14 ticks before we do move the stop to break even. So it just gives the trade enough room to breathe. Keeping the stop too tight will just cause us to get stopped out, and then it will go for targets. So that's that. The testing when that trade plan was originally built showed that was a trade plan generated with the TA, the trade assist. And it tested to 14 ticks before moving the stop. So that's what we do. So if you look at the data window over here, get on that bar, lock the data window, so we can look at it. See, it's 1.1 tick. Reward is 1.1 points. That's 11 ticks. So I actually adjusted 3 ticks above target 1 for 14 tick minimum. And that's our money management level. So that wasn't an adjustment. It was just moving to where our money management level actually should have been. Excuse me. Unleaded with potential stop and reverse here. That's going to be at 2403. Yeah, 2404. No, I'm sorry, 4 tick adjustment, 2406. So we're still short currently. Oh, excuse me. No, we're not still short. We stopped out for a partial profit. Target 1 traders picked up a target, but not target 2. So we will take this long as it comes. At 2402. We did stop out of our original short trade. We're still in the add-on short on crude. Soybeans stopped down to 1153 flat. Pound Aussies traded up through the 50 and the 20. 50 EMA, 20 SMA. probably move. Yeah, probably now we do go to 2404. Not a great plan. You make it 2406. Level it, but that spike did go one tick beyond the entry, and I think that was, I don't know. Actually, that was slow enough. We should be in the trade, I think. So 2402, we're in it, taking heat. The crude trade is doing well. $51.75 on soybeans. 10 o'clock. So I'm not going to take another add-on trade right here since we are flat on the system. Our 10 o'clock trade is still valid. Or our 9 o'clock trade rather is still valid. Looking for a 10 o'clock trade. But yes, money management is a place we get to reduce risk on trades, and that's true of all of our trade plans. Where you see the blue line is where money management, which is where we come to break even. Usually it's target one or 90% of target one, something like that. One tick from stopping out on soybeans. We're right at target 2, which was 4 points, 16 ticks. And there's a stop out, so we net 16 points on 4 one contract positions for an $800 trade. Not taking any new trades on crude because we do have the 1030 crude inventory report. This will be an exit point. Give it 2 ticks. Make it 53. Stop and reverse. Standard stop and reverse, but it's an exit only. We won't take the trade. And that actually we did trigger into the long on unleaded in time. We are in the May contract for soybeans, April contract for crude and unleaded, March contracts for our 3 market indices. Pound Aussie back below the entry, back in positive territory. We've got about 10 more minutes to follow this. So YM is done. That was a losing session. Micro NQ is a losing session. Soybeans is a winner. Micro Russell's a winner. Crude is an unknown at this point. Could be a small loser, or could yet go down and hit some targets. We're still in that trade for the 9 a.m. session. Unfortunately, we're long on unleaded and short on crude. So I would say the most likely outcome here is, or the more likely outcome is getting targets on the short side on crude and a third stop out on unleaded. Actually, that was a very small loss. The third trade was actually a very small loss. This would be a fourth loss. It was essentially a break even on stop and over. Oh, no, that's right. We had a partial profit on trade number 3. And this would be trade number 4. And it's trying to push upward. Pound Aussie going back up above the 20 and the 50 again. Not much going on. We'll come back about 10:25. We'll stick around in about another 6 minutes, five minutes plus. And there's the stop out on crude. So 9 a.m. crude mini session is a small loss this morning. Only one trade. 65.39 to 65.53. 14 ticks, 2 positions. 28 tick loss. Not a trivial loss. That can be made up fairly easily. Yeah, so now all we have left is pound Aussie and unleaded. Unleaded trying to push up through its 50 EMA. It's made an excursion, but now back to it. So let's see. Less than 3 minutes before I'm going to have to shut this one down. Pound Aussie in the lower left. Unleaded looks lower center. There are 2 active charts. Positive sessions on soybeans and micro Russell. Losing sessions on the YM, crude 9 a.m. and unleaded actually is probably going to end up being a losing session. We've had 2 full losses and a very near break even. Actually, 2 losses, a partial win, and we're in the 4th trade. That's an add-on long. Trying to get back to the session open. That trade is off the 20 simple moving average. We are in a light blue trade, which is an oversold trade. And pound Aussie right back into the 50 EMA. Money management on unleaded. So our stop will come to 24.03. Looks like it. Target one is 24.49, and that's exactly where we got. So that's another target one win for target one traders. 47 ticks on that one. 43 on this one. That's 90 ticks. That's nothing to sneeze at. Plus we got 394 to 381 with 97 ticks. And we still have a trailing position in play on this trade. And it's time to transition over. So I'm going to close this stream down and we'll come back and do the crude oil inventory report. Everybody have a good one. Looks like we're pushing up toward target 2 there on that one. 14 ticks for the target 2 traders on the partial. And this one we have 60. Oh, not that one. 72 ticks available at target 2. We will see. Everybody have a good one. We'll see you back in about 5 minutes, about 10 minutes.